Chapter 5. Sex's Revelations. Part A. What I have not decided as of yet is how to bring you across. Marcus began dressing me with all the care one would take to dress a store mannequin. I could only stare at him in absolute horror as his words sank into my brain. I never expected him to confirm it. I'd honestly have been happy with a lie. No, you would not. You are an honest man in your own fashion. I have not lied to you in all this time, and I see no reason to start now, he said as he reached into the tight leather of my pants, cupped my cock protectively with one hand, and pulled the zipper up with the other. I misjudged the size. It is a little snug, but it still suits you. If you are good, I will cuff your hands together in front of you now. This calm, matter-of-fact manner of his was more terrifying to me than the rages I managed to push him into. He popped the bronze shirt over my head, walked around behind me, releasing the cuffs that held my arms at my back. They ached, and I couldn't have lifted them on my own even if Marcus commanded it. They were so numb. Marcus pulled my unresponsive arms through the sleeves of the bronze slut shirt and tugged the garment the rest of the way down. It was tight and far too small. The bottom of the shirt ended a good 3 inches from the top of the leather pants. Great. I was dressed as some gay, slutty plaything. Marcus slipped the cuffs back on, but at least my arms were in front of me this time. You are even more beautiful now, he said, as he stepped in and gave me a lingering kiss. He leaned closer and licked gently at my new scar, letting a single finger trail down the side of my face to trace along the puckered edge. I shuddered. This was definitely different from what he usually did. Why are you doing this to me? If you were just a little fuck toy, as you put it, I would have drained you by the end of the first month. But this, he tapped my forehead right on the goose egg from the headbutt I had received earlier. My eyes watered with pain. This has intrigued me. You have no idea how rare an animal you are, my little one. I have only encountered one other human who could make coherent minds speak when the binding was on them. You do not even realize you have not spoken a word to me since the day I took you, do you? I shuddered as his tongue lapped at my neck. The vocal binding is a standard vampiric weapon. It is used so you cannot tell anyone about this place, and no other vampire would dare take you with this mark on you. Usually humans just flash incoherent thoughts, a random slideshow of images. One cannot get a clear sense of presence. You and I, on the other hand, have conversations of a sort. I would prefer less colorful words, but I do get your message. He spun me around in front of him. I think I prefer you in this type of clothing, rather than you being naked. It adds an air of mystery about you. Forcing me back to the couch, I sat down hard as he straddled my thighs and planted his hands on either side of my head. Present your neck to me, Sex. I could only stare up at him. I had nowhere to go, even if I started struggling. Are you going to kill me now? No, but I am going to enjoy the taste of you again. But I do not want to scar you more than is necessary. I was going to wait a bit for you to recover from my last meal, but as I am killing you tonight anyway, a little weakness in you will not affect the rebirth. I tried to relax, but just like the first rape of the day, I tensed, making it worse for myself. There was the inevitable sting of his fang's first entry, and then his saliva hit the wounds, burning them hot for a few seconds before the numbing sensations took over. I learned fast that Marcus had this little routine he does. First the penetration and the slick licks. Then he rotates his fangs, digging deeper and widening the puncture marks. I brought my cuffed hands up and grabbed at his shirt. I should have pushed him away. I should have done something, anything other than what I did. I should have done something else entirely. But there was no stopping my hands as they clenched in the cloth they encountered. There was no preventing my thumbs from rubbing on the cool buttons that they touched. And then, I shouldn't have, but I did. I pulled him closer, and I arched into his bite. It hit me hard, the intense wave of pleasure that washed over me. It wasn't mine. I had never felt anything close to this before. I felt like I was betraying myself, and I started crying. Again. Damn it, I'm such a crybaby. Stop it. Please. Stop it. For fuck's sakes, let me go. Marcus sat up. The streams of crimson leaked from the corners of his mouth. His eyes were red with annoyance, or maybe hunger, but they faded back to his normal, warm chocolate brown as he stared down at me. Tears were still streaming from my eyes. I tried to turn my head away so he wouldn't see them, but my neck was torn and the wounded muscles protested. I felt a hot burning begin to trail down my side of my throat, and I realized that blood was seeping out of the bite wound. My life's blood was trailing uselessly down my neck. Hush, sex. There is no need for this. He kissed my eyelids and lapped at the tears that were still spilling down my cheeks. I let go of his shirt and pushed at him. It was like pushing a brick wall. I accomplished absolutely nothing. We can't have you crying. We do not want you to ruin your new clothes. I just closed my eyes, the tears still finding their way through the lashes as he licked, sucked, and kissed my wounds closed. I didn't even resist as he caught my face and pulled my chin up towards him. I want a kiss from you. I taught you how I like it, so there should be no disappointments, right? I opened my eyes and blinked him into focus. Too much focus. My eyes zeroed in on the crimson-stained lips. You've got blood on your mouth. It is your blood, sex. It should not bother you. I want you to taste it. But it's blood. I just stared at him as he went in and out of focus. I blinked to try and keep him in sight, but my eyes must have stayed shut on the last blink because everything stayed black. I smelled apples. Fall, crisp, green apples. I think. I moaned in dismay even before I opened my eyes. I knew it was too much to believe that this was just a horrible nightmare. It would have been nice to have opened my eyes and found myself in the middle of an apple orchard, but no. Here I was in a concrete-style bunker with no decorations, no breakable objects, and no doors. A tumbler of juice passed in front of my nose. There were my apples. I raised my hands to take the offered glass. Touch it, and your arms go back behind you in cuffs again. I was sitting crossways on Marcus's lap. A blanket was wrapped around me, and it made me feel all warm and cozy. I glanced down. I was still in the fuck me now gay boy clothes, but I had on white fuzzy socks, too. I wiggled my toes. Yeah, they were mine. I don't remember being this warm for a long time. A straw hit my lips. Damn, I was almost asleep again. I opened my mouth, but the straw spun away from me. I ended up playing fish out of water, trying to get the juice until I got tired and just slumped back against Marcus's chest. His whole body jiggled as he chuckled at my expense. Forgive me, sex. Your spirit and sense of self is so strong. I forget that your body is such a fragile thing. I drank too much from you. I am only getting random images from you now. I have spoiled my own gift. The straw was placed firmly between my lips, and I sucked. Oh, thank God it wasn't cranberry. I was just getting a good taste of apple juice when it was pulled away, and a piece of cheese was placed at my lips instead. I opened my mouth, and Marcus stuck his fingers in, along with the little square of cheese. I had to blink a couple of times to get his face in focus, and I glared at him, since my mental voice wasn't working right. Totally unhygienic. I know where those fingers have been. I silently cussed at him. He got the message. As he removed his fingers, I shivered, and Marcus pulled me closer, wrapping the blanket tighter around me. I sighed and leaned further into him. I was so tired, and he was so warm. Well, this is nice sex. This is not you. I think I prefer you hurling insults at me. He laid his chin on top of my head. I hated that, but I was simply too tired to move. Go to sleep, my little one. I will wake you when it's time. Time? Time for what? I pondered. But sleep sounded like such a good idea, and so instead of asking what he meant, I made Marcus's shoulder my pillow and drifted off.